Is anybody in the audience familiar with Belbin? Anybody else? Yeah, great. That's a bit of a help anyway. So look, what I just want to do today is talk to you for a few minutes about Belbin and Belbin Ireland. As in from September 2015, we are the sole distributors of Belbin products and services in Ireland, which is quite significant because it means that we're an Irish company on the ground. Traditionally, if you don't know what Belbin is a method or process that assesses your behavioural preferences in the workplace. Okay, the significance of us having the Belbin franchise here in Ireland is that we're on the ground, we understand the nuances of the Irish market, we're here to help, support, follow up, meet, coach, train, etc. So we're able to provide all of the services that sort of complete the Belbin package. So we offer guidance on how to apply Belbin in real team situations. We offer professional practitioner and accreditation training, profiles, reports, technical support, and team interventions and consultations. I'm the principal of Belbin Ireland, and just quickly from my own point of view, I'm principal, I'm chairman of Business Ireland Africa, which is the primary networking platform for companies doing business between Ireland and Africa. I'm a qualified coach, trainer and project manager. I have 20 years experience in leadership and team development, and I've carried out projects in the USA, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, the Caribbean and South Africa. So a lot of air miles built up there. So what is the background to Belbin? The concept was derived back in the 70s from a study of business games in Henley Management College in the UK. And after 10 years of exhaustive research, Dr. Meredith Belbin uncovered clusters of behaviours underlying what made teams successful, and hence the emergence of what we call the 9 team roles. A team role is defined by Meredith Belbin as a tendency to behave, contribute and interrelate with others in a particular way. There are other profiling processes such as Myers-Briggs and Insight, etc. The point of difference with Belbin is that it assesses behaviour, not personality. And that's a very crucial difference. So it assesses your preferred behavioural roles in the workplace. And it looks at the combination of roles and the balance that's required to get a good team dynamic and an effective team. So essentially, if you look at the basics of it, what happens in a lot of organizations is that you have a group rather than a team, which is people who are brought together for a common purpose whilst being too numerous to allow team role relationships to form. However, a team is a limited number of people selected to work together for a shared objective in a way that allows each person to make a distinctive contribution. So essentially what the team roles measure is not DNA, not personality, but behaviour. So what it is on the surface. How do we show up to work? How do we behave when we're in the workplace? Do any of you recognise that? Do any of you think that you behave differently outside of work than you do in work? Yeah. It's often dynamics and, you know, who you're in the team with, who you report to, who reports to you, etc., etc. So it's all very, very relevant in terms of the capacity of a team to be efficient and effective. into too much detail on this, but just to give you an idea of the 9 team roles. First of all, we have a plant, and a plant is somebody who's creative, imaginative, free-thinking, and generates ideas and solves difficult problems. A resource investigator, who are often salespeople, are outgoing and enthusiastic, communicative. They explore opportunities and develop contacts. Okay, I'll just pick out a couple of them. Shaper is a challenging, dynamic person, thrives on pressure, has the drive and courage to overcome obstacles. Anybody know any well-known shapers? Anybody have a guess? Sorry? Michael O'Leary? Oh no, sorry, right, yeah. Dennis O'Brien. A team worker is a cooperative, perceptive and diplomatic person and listens and averts friction. So that's the other side of it. A completer finisher, very important. A completer finisher is painstakingly conscientious and anxious about getting things done, about getting things completed, right? And I, for instance, myself, am a plant and a resource investigator. So I'm a person for ideas, enthusiasm, drive, but then I get bored when it comes to the detail. So you start giving me detail and I go, oh God, no, please don't give me the detail, you know. So a completer, I need a completer finisher, and a completer finisher needs me, because the completer finisher for me is the person who can take that and get it across the line, whereas they don't have the ideas and the drive, etc., etc. Does that make sense to you? And in the middle of it all, a very important one, not that they're all important, is a monitor evaluator. A monitor evaluator is a person who sits in the middle of all this and objectively assesses the validity of an idea, how well it will work, how feasible is it, what are the pros and cons. So again, I would need a monitor evaluator, because I'll come up with 6 ideas, but 4 of them might be rubbish. So the monitor evaluator will be able to say, well, Andrew, look, I really think these 2 will work for the following reasons. Okay? So if I was in a team as a plant and a resource investigator, I would definitely need a monitor evaluator, and I'd need a completer finisher to stabilize me and make sure things got finished. So there are all sorts of different combinations. The most important thing is nothing's right or wrong. The second most important thing is that we all have different preferred styles. So it's the balance of those styles that makes a team efficient. And the 9 team roles then break down into 3 essential segments. The action-orientated roles, which are the shaper, the completer finisher, and the implementer. The social-oriented roles, in other words, the people-oriented roles, the heart, if you like, are the coordinator, the team worker, and the resource investigator. And then the thinking roles are the plant, the specialist, and the monitor evaluator. The issue we come across with teams all the time is that you might have an abundance of one and an absence of another, and a middle bit somewhere else. So therefore the team is lopsided. There are several different ways of addressing that. You can coach people. If it's a static team, in other words, it's a department, for instance, that is not agile, then you can coach people. You know, people have, let's say they've roughly 3 preferred roles. They have 3 middle roles and 3 least preferred roles. So we can upgrade some of the ones from the middle. So if I have completer finisher at number 5, you know, they might say, well, I wouldn't be a good example, but if you have somebody else who has completer finisher number 4, look, you need to bring that into play. So they can be coached to give a better balance to the team. And once, I suppose the advantage of understanding all that is that it gives you a much better insight into where everybody's at, and what are the gaps in the team, and what are the places that need to be filled, or what are the skills that need to be brought to the team in order to make it efficient. Any questions on that so far? No? You okay? So where is Belbin currently? In the past few years, Belbin has adjusted and upgraded its products and services to reflect the needs of the modern world of work. The modern world of work is presenting a lot of challenges. It's likely to be much more team-based. Those teams are likely to be much more agile. They're likely to be much more customer-centric, much more marketing-driven, and Belbin, in recognizing this, have identified some new products, new services, which I'll go through in a minute, which are basically to make sure that we're at the leading edge of the revolution or the changes that are going on in the workplace. Last month, Deloitte, and this goes for a lot of different reports, but if I can just pick the Deloitte one. Deloitte, in their Human Capital Report of 2016, identified some very, very key and interesting findings. In compiling the report, they surveyed over 7,000 CEOs and senior executives, including 135 in Ireland. The number one finding was that senior executives see a need to redesign their organisation, with 92% of survey participants, including 92% in Ireland, rating this as a critical priority. The new organisation, as we call it, is built around highly empowered teams. Okay? So the new mode of organisation, which is a network of teams with a high degree of organisational design, empowerment, and empowerment can be defined as giving people the freedom to succeed. Strong communication and rapid information flow. And that is now sweeping businesses and governments around the world. So among the services that Belbin in Ireland currently offer in order to be at the leading edge of the rise of teams, so to speak, is that we offer self-perception inventories and reports with observer feedback. Another key point of difference, so the first key point of difference with Belbin is that it assesses behaviour, not personality. The second point of difference is that it's team-based and that you get 360 feedback. So if you want to get a self-perception inventory done, the Belbin methodology recommends that you get at least 4 observers also to give you feedback, so that you're getting a 360 feedback on yourself. So in other words, you're getting the opportunity to see yourself as you do, and you're getting the opportunity to see yourself as others do. So in that instance, you would pick people in the workplace, for instance. So let's say somebody you report to, somebody who reports to you, a couple of colleagues that you work closely with. So you're getting a balanced and 360 feedback on yourself, which in itself is very useful information. We do team reports, which assesses a team. So if you have a team of 6, you get 6 self-perception inventories done, and then you get a team report, which assesses the strengths and weaknesses of the team. We do working relationship reports, which, for instance, if you have 2 people who clash and they just don't get on, or whatever, and it's vital that they are able to get on, we can assess those 2 people and see where the clash is and where the gaps are, and develop their understanding of each other. You know, like if I can go back to my example, I need a completer finisher. Before I got involved with Belbin 20 years ago, a completer finisher would have driven me mad, right? Until I realized that I needed them. And now I have a much better understanding, and I'm able to develop better relationships with a completer finisher. Does that make sense? We offer Belbin consultant feedback. Our consultants are all Belbin accredited and are able to give feedback, constructive feedback, valuable feedback to an individual or to a team in a coaching environment. We offer Belbin accreditation for companies. So we're with 7 or 8 companies that we're dealing with at the moment. They're large companies, and what we've done is we've done the initial interventions, and then we've got people internally trained and become accredited with Belbin, so that they're then able to offer feedback internally, so they don't have to keep paying us to come in, if that makes sense. We offer team development programs. Very importantly, something that's becoming much more significant in the modern world of work is that it's becoming incumbent on managers to be coaches as part of their skill set. So we found ourselves more and more developing managers to be team coaches. And that has become a significant part of our business, so that the manager ends up being a skilled team coach who is able to identify gaps in the team, who is able to coach people, who is able to, develop their understanding, develop their ability to work more effectively as a member of the team. We've also become a lot more involved with companies in terms of innovation. Innovation is a bit of a buzzword in the market at this particular moment in time, and a lot of companies that we deal with, we say, well, how innovative are you? And they say, well, we're quite innovative. We have an innovation team, right? But actually, when we drill down, they're not really that innovative at all. So we introduce, and what we help to do is to build a culture of real innovation, of empowerment, ideas, self-empowered teams, collective, adding very, very valuable insights and information to the whole team. We offer leadership workshops and coaching, and also recruitment reports. Belbin can be very useful in a recruitment context, because if you're employing somebody to come into a team, very often we look at somebody's eligibility, but we don't look at their suitability. What is their suitability to the team? What can they add to the team in terms of their behaviour? So that has become quite a big part of what we do. So Belbin is much more than a team building tool. It offers self-awareness and personal effectiveness. It offers personal development and career planning. It develops mutual trust and understanding amongst the participants in a team. It helps with team selection and team development. It helps to match people to the right jobs, and as I said, not just in terms of eligibility, but very importantly in terms of suitability. For a second, just to give you a sort of a better example. If you're recruiting, as an example, let's say you're recruiting somebody and you're going to pay them 80 grand a year. It's a big investment. It's a lot of money. So let's say that you advertise and you shortlist out 4 people, and the 4 people are roughly eligible. They roughly have the same sort of skill sets and so on. The key to using Belbin is that it can identify which one of the 4 is most suitable to fit into the team, to contribute to the team, to add to the team, and to help to take the team forward. Does that make sense? So you're having a balance in terms of where you're recruiting. It helps with organizational analysis and talent management. Again, are any of you here in the HR space? Anybody in the HR space? Okay. Having Belbin profiles and that information is also a very valuable asset to an organization, because it tells you who you have and it tells you what their preferred behavioural roles are, and how they can be brought forward and how they can be coached. It can identify potential leaders. It can identify people who are suited to one area, people who can go on to a project team, people who can, become part of a project situation. So it gives you a lot of very valuable information. And it's obviously of great assistance in terms of management development and training. Our offices are located in Dublin, which I run, which is at 6 St James's Terrace in Malahide, and at Galway in Brogan House in Kinvara. Any further information, you can contact or email me, and I'd be more than happy to help you, to meet with you for a cup of coffee, to explain what we do. We don't sell people things, we just explain what they do, because people either want it or they don't. So don't worry, I won't be piling in on top of you with a sales pitch. Or you can get much more information on our website, which is www.belbin.ie. Is it warm in here? It must be me, I'm just leaking. Okay. Any questions?